Are
Hello,
you
everybody.
there?
I was waiting for the computer to say recording started, and yeah, I have to catch up to myself sometimes. Hi there. How are you?
Is it live or is it memorized?
Hey,
Remember that?
Memorex. Anybody remember
I
Memorex?
do.
That's like somebody. Where were we that somebody mentioned about videotaping something, and I said, "Does anybody remember videotape or VCRs?"
Oh, we were someplace last night and they were giving away. Oh, we were watching PBS, an old concert,
Oh,
and
an
they
old
were giving away a
a,
CD.
a CD or
Yeah,
DVDs or something.
maybe it was a DVD. Yeah, it could have been a DVD.
Or somebody mentioned VCRs, and I'm thinking there's probably nobody in the audience that knows what a
I think they're
VCR
gonna
is.
have to change their gifts on PBS.
Yeah, except
Rethink
it's
them.
funny how there's a resurgence back to buying vinyl
Yes, there
records,
has been for a
and
while.
and it's interesting because the acoustic quality, or when they mix a CD and all, you get really full rich sound because it can be 16, 32, 64 tracks
Hmm.
all mixed in. But vinyl didn't, even the best record players
Yeah,
and all almost didn't have that fullness
you don't
of
think
rich
so?
quality.
No? Even some of those that have bass and treble and all that?
Well, yeah, it has bass and treble, but a DVD that's or CD that's been mixed in the studio has, bands of bass and bands of mid-range and treble, that like gives that
But
full
but
orchestra
most
sound.
most people don't care about that. You do, because you were in the
Yeah,
business. Those
well,
that were in the business, I think, are more attuned to
I
it.
mean, when we were growing up and vinyl records were the way you got your music,
Yes.
yeah, you then had a hi-fi.
Yes,
Remember that?
that's I do.
Too?
I had one.
You had a high fidelity, that was hi-fi. Now we have Wi-Fi. What does Wi-Fi stand for?
That's the internet.
Is
That's
that
more the internet. Wireless
wireless?
internet
S-
something,
Yeah,
something.
something. But hi-fi we had when we were growing up was high fidelity, stood for high
Right.
fidelity. But you used to get your records and you'd listen to it on a hi-fi set or with
Right.
earphones, and you got a pretty rich
Yeah,
sound.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But today, the sound that's created in the studio is
Mhm.
so much richer, and yet there's this resurgence back to most current artists that are doing music in the studios. They are recording their music for MP3 streaming, downloading.
Mhm.
They're doing it for CDs, but they're also producing vinyl records again,
I know they
which
have been for
which
a while.
means you got to go out and buy a
A
nice
turntable.
turntable
Right.
and integrate it into your sound system. And it's funny how we went from turntables down to reel-to-reel tape, 8-track tapes, which were the
Hmm.
smaller,
They were still
cassettes
large.
that they were by today's standards, they
Yeah.
were. Back then, 8-track tapes was a revolutionary
Well,
from
this is
vinyl
what happened.
records.
Yeah.
And then you went from reel-to-reel tape down to cassette tapes. Cassette tapes now became the new technology from 8-track.
Hmm.
And there was nothing like it because you could take
And put it in your pocket.
put it in your pocket, put it in a recorder, put it around your hip while you were out walking
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
so, and play your cassette tapes. Then it went to discs, and the disc players.
But you can't take a disc player
A
on a
disc
walk.
actually was larger in size than a videotape, but you couldn't mess it up. It couldn't really
Right.
become destroyed that easily. But then they made video players that you could wear or carry, you know.
And now we have Spotify.
And now you have whatever music you
Yeah,
want is on
whatever.
your
There's lots
phone,
of apps.
or you can download it onto an MP3 player or so, or even just onto a stick and have 24 hours worth of your favorites
Hmm.
compiled on a stick that you can play in your computer. You can take it, pop it into the
Right.
car and listen to
But
it.
I would say most people, the average person doesn't care about the treble, the bass, whatever. They just want to hear the song. if you're a music aficionado or professional, like yourself, then yes, you want that full, rich sound.
I'm not sure I agree with you. Opposite Saxes, that's why it's called. Because I think that young people especially, they want sound. They want good sound quality.
It depends. Do they want it when they're walking
Yeah,
for an hour outside or running,
that
or do
that's
they
why they
want
will
it to
invest
sit?
$300 or $400 into earbuds that recreate
I don't know.
a sound.
I
I
don't
mean,
think.
that's like anything else. You can buy $100 pair of earbuds and you can buy a $500 pair of earbuds. What's the
Right.
difference? Is the reproduction of the sound quality.
But not only that, isn't it also the reliability of the earbuds that they
Yeah,
will last a
could be.
long time?
And
That to me is more important, something that will last a while than something that you're going to get 4 or 6 months out of or a year.
even that now they have got, and I've never been a real fan of earbuds. Maybe it's because I don't feel like I can get them to comfortably stay in my ear.
Right.
You can turn the volume up a little bit in order to get more
Mhm.
sound. But now they're making the over the ear
Mm-hmm.
speakers
Right.
that fit over the ear. In other words, it's almost like a miniature headphone that goes over the ear and then covers your ear and can create symphony hall type sound. It's amazing how minute things have become, and yet you don't suffer an awful lot in quality. Uh, but when we talked about headphones, I mean, there were the ones went to Radio Shack and bought for 29.95, or you could invest in a few $100s in a pair of Bose headphones. When I was on radio and all, I wanted to have a better quality
But they were
headphone.
big and clunky.
Well, yeah, yeah,
And didn't they hurt after a while and didn't, they might
yeah,
not have slipped. Yeah.
there they are.
But didn't they hurt after a while?
No, no, because
No?
they're padded
Well, I
padded
know.
around the ear.
I
But
know, but
the thing is that it kind of filtered out any erroneous sound.
mhm.
For instance, when you're wearing earbuds, if you're in a store or you're in a public place and you even have earbuds on, you can hear what's going on around you. But if you have over the ear type of headphones or earbuds or these whatever they're called now, because they're not an ear in the earbud, it's an over the ear. It filters out any uh,
Well, it's
sound.
interesting because I was looking for some earphones that I could put on my head and wear.
Yeah,
And when I'm multitasking around the house, instead of carrying the phone, the cellular, or putting it in a pocket, which I might not have at the time, I wanted a headset or an earphone that would fit comfortably and would feel good.
they got them.
And they do, because our daughter mentioned it, how she uses it for work when she's on calls all day with the computer. And I mean, they're available all over. She gave me
Yep.
some on Amazon that she said, I think they did cost a couple $100, but
It depends
she's
on
had
how
them
much
for
if
forever.
you're going to use them just to go out for a walk around the block and to listen to some music, you
That's
can
a
you
little
can
different.
you can put your phone in your pocket and Bluetooth, so it's wireless. You don't have to have that cord going from,
Yes, right. And that's what I objected to.
and you can do wireless connections with
Yeah.
Bluetooth, so you can listen to your music. But again, it depends on how much quality you want to get out of the music. Now, some people today now, like when they're walking, want to listen to audiobooks. And you can do the same thing. You can just put your phone on Kindle or whatever and have your earbuds in your ears and listen to a story while you're out walking.
Well,
Or
getting rid of that wire is the most important thing to me. I've tripped on it, I've
Mhm.
broken it, I've put it around my neck once. I mean, it's a pain.
And believe me, you can walk into any of the electronic shops and everything and say, I'm interested in something to wear on my ears so I can listen to music while I'm walking, while I'm just sitting on the back porch in a chair and all, I just want to listen to some music, but I want to listen to a little bit of quality. It depends on whether you're listening to uh, a vocal type show, you're just going to listen to Dr. Laura or so, or you want to listen to a symphony orchestra.
But I want to listen and be able to talk. And so this one that she told me to get had a mouthpiece, like, the old
Okay.
operator.
Well, okay, yeah,
And it's a little strange looking, I'm sure, to be outside walking.
Yeah.
To have this, but to be inside the house and to be able for somebody to understand you.
well, I think that was another
Okay.
thing that technology, I think, was born out of COVID. That when,
Yeah.
you had stopped going to work and you had to be in front of a
I think
computer
you're right.
to talk to people, you needed to have your hands free to take notes, to what you were in meetings, and also you couldn't have the phone up
Right.
here,
Right.
and it made more sense to have something. So they came out with, like you said, the old what were they called, the operators that used to
Oh, yeah.
answer the phone.
Yeah.
Now you had the headphones so that
They were more comfortable.
yeah,
And they were more in
and
the ear rather
yeah.
than out.
But even the earbuds, when the earbuds came out, the earbuds also had a little microphone on it and
They
all,
did.
but like you said, the cord was in the way.
Making me nuts. How much would you spend if you were looking for your phone? How much would you spend?
Well, again, I always tell you, don't answer a question with a question, but it would have to be, what am I going to use it for? Am I going to use it outdoors? Am I going to use it indoors? Am I going to use it both? Am I going to use it for music? And am I going to use it to listen to YouTube broadcasts or podcasts or blogs?
Probably, like if you were out in the garage doing something or working on a project outside with the plants. And you wanted to, you didn't want to have your phone in a
Like
pocket.
you're out gardening or
Yeah, and you wanted to you want to be able to answer your phone, but not have it on your hands or in a
Yeah, well,
pocket.
now you raised a question because you're saying you don't want to have a phone, so you're not going to have your music source nearby
You can.
to do the Bluetooth.
Yeah, you can. You can put on Spotify that's on your phone,
Yeah.
and you can have that go through the headset.
Well, I think it's fair to say that to get a decent pair, you're
Mhm.
probably talking $150 to $200
Yeah, I would say more
to get a
2.25 at least.
to get a decent pair. It depends. That's why you go to a store that has a department for that, and you talk to a person who is knowledgeable and educated in that, and they're going to ask you the same thing. Like when you go to buy a car, they want to know, well, what are you going to do? Are you carting the kids to soccer practice, or are you just going on a vacation? You have to establish what the need is, and then they say to you, well, I would recommend the Sony or the Bose or the Harman Kardon.
The only store I
or
know of that
Sony.
has all of that they will explain it to you is Best Buy.
Best
I
Buy,
don't know of any other store. I mean, Amazon is the place to get it, but then you can't test it.
yeah.
That's the pain in the neck part of it too.
Although, I mean, well, you can go there, or if you're looking for a better product, then there are specialty stores that specialize in those kind of hearing devices.
Who said so?
And I'm sure that they're out there.
Where are they?
Just
Well, I mean, you can go to your phone store. You go to Verizon, I'm sure. You go to AT&T,
AT&T,
and they have different ones.
yeah.
But I was just thinking of an overall store that had more companies.
You probably start with your Google search and going through and saying, I'm looking for something like this. And then you start looking at the brands. And
Yeah.
then you say, where can I go to look at them in person and listen to them? I think it's fair to say that you want to go to a Best Buy or someplace where you can actually put them on your ears and listen to it. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, we did that when we got the sound bar for our TV.
Right.
We went to a store and we listened to like eight or 10 different companies of sound bars, and they would have the buttons. There were 10 different sets, and you listen set number one, and it would play the exact same thing. So you would get an idea of how they vary.
How they, yeah, and sound, yes.
The extent of the sound. Now you're taking that room quality and you're reducing it down into something that goes in your ear or over your ear. And I think today, now that's the first question you have. Do I want something over my ears while I'm doing my yard work and listening, or do I want something in my ear?
That's true.
And
That's true.
and I
And
mean,
it's all personal preference
I think my radio days led me to like over
over
the
the ear.
ear
Yeah,
more so than in the ear. But
right.
I mean, young people now, the smaller, the more minute and all that it is, the better.
And I just feel even the smaller ones are cumbersome to me if I'm moving around, getting up, getting down.
I was worried it's going to pop out.
No, if they're
So
in your ear, they will stay there.
I can't keep my iPhone earbuds in my ear. I don't know what
Well,
it
then
is.
it's not the right headset earbud for you.
I need new ears.
No, you need a new set of earbuds from a different
A
company.
different kind, yeah,
Yeah,
because there
yeah.
are that like the iPhone earbuds, those from company to company, they're all basically shaped the same, but they're smooth plastic, and maybe that's part of it is that
They're
I
too slippery.
yeah, it's too slippery. So you get the earbuds that have the little rubber
Yes, on it.
thing over it.
Yes,
So when
yes,
you
yes.
put that in your ear, it
Yeah.
sticks a little better.
Well, see, everybody's different.
And but you know what? I think we're getting to a time where it's a relaxation method too,
Oh,
because if you want to
absolutely.
lie down on your bed, uh over the earphones are not as practical or as comfortable. So you want something that's
That's
in
what I
your ear,
say.
but you don't want the cord because every time you turn,
That's why I say you need one basic earbud that you can do everything with, that you're comfortable with. And the ones on your ears, I know you like them better, but they're probably not as
and
practical.
it's it's a fascinating where technology has gone, but a lot of it is the comfort aspect
Right.
of it. You know, you can now get earbuds that you can Bluetooth to your radio in the car. So in other words,
Well, who would want to do that?
well, for instance, if we're on a road trip and you decide you want to put your seat back and take a
Oh,
little bit of a nap, I can put earbuds in my ears and go to Bluetooth, and so I can be listening to the radio.
but you don't want to do that. You're driving. What happens if somebody honks at you? You're not going to hear that. That is not safe. You cannot do that. I can't believe you said that.
Well, I realize that, but the other way is how many times have you been driving down the highway and pull up to a stoplight and the guy in the next car has got his radio on so loud that his doors are vibrating. Well, that's the same thing. He can't
What?
hear the traffic. What's
I
going
care
on?
about him. I care about you. Didn't your mother ever tell you that?
But now you know me. If we're riding in the car and a song comes on that is one of my favorites, what do?
Well, you
Up the
turn it up.
volume.
Okay, you turn it up, but you're not putting earbuds, and it's only for a few minutes, but you're not putting earbuds in your ears. I think if someone were to honk at you, you would even hear that after you turned up the
Possibly.
radio.
So what's the difference between me listening to music on earbuds or people driving all around you that are driving with one hand and doing their phone with
Well, if
the
they
other?
get in an accident, I don't care. Hopefully, they don't get in an accident with you.
So what
But
if I
you,
get into an accident and the police pulls me out of the car and I got earbuds in my ear, I'm in trouble.
you are. You really are. No, the earbuds are for here at the house. If you're sitting someplace, even if you're at a coffee shop and you don't want the noise around you, so you put them in a
Or
coffee
if you're
shop.
on an airplane.
Yes, if you're on an airplane, if you're taking a nap here, and you want to listen,
Mhm.
please, not,
Please what?
not for the car.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have gotten on a subject that we didn't
But,
plan to, but it was a
yeah,
very
yeah, no.
lively conversation.
But and sometimes these ideas and subject and of discussion and all just pop up because this is not what we planned to talk about.
Oh.
So you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to come back next week, because what we were going to talk about this week,
Will be next week.
we'll talk about next week.
Maybe,
Okay?
maybe,
Yeah, but we're not going to tell you in advance
because we
what
don't
it is,
know, really.
because we want you to come back, okay? So go out and make it a good day. See you again next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.